Good morning, traders. Today is January 11th. My name is Charles, and this is the Pirate Traders live stream. My apologies that I'm running late this morning getting started. Okay, so we opened inside the previous day's range. Anytime we open inside the previous day's range, the first thing we expect is some chop. We expect the market to have to do a little bit of grinding around, a little bit of price discovery. The first level of interest for me is the base of the spike up, so where the K period broke the, sorry, let me just expand this profile out for yesterday. Actually, no, it's not there. It's from the M period. My bad, guys. So that is the base of the spike at 46.50. 46.50. So what we'll be looking for now this morning as we trade lower is for support around the base of that spike up, 46.50. If the market can find some support there, that would be bullish for continuation to the upside. If the market starts to break back down below that spike, though, it is a sign in terms of spike rules that this was incorrect. This move up at the end of the day was incorrect, and the market starts to trade lower. So if we do get below that spike at 46.46, I would be looking to repair at least the first of the week references. So if 46.46 breaks, I'd be looking for the market to get to 46.29.50 to repair at least the first of those week references, and then monitor for continuation lower from there. Obviously, every reference below it is weak. So all of this weakness is in need of repair. Okay. So if they can't find support around the base of the spike today, that is what I think is the next order of business, is repairing that weakness we left behind. As far as to the upside, if we can get above yesterday's high, come back down and find some support, I'd be happy to buy that area. Just because of how much time and volume the overnight brought in right there at yesterday's high. So that's acting as resistance right now, but once we get through it, that should act as support for continuation higher. Okay, so if 46.46 breaks, I'm looking to start repair this weakness. If we get above 46.65 and stay above it, I'm looking for continuation higher. That's the plan. As far as stepping back and looking at the market on a slightly longer term time frame, to me, this is very bearish. Once again, I brought it up yesterday talking to members of the Brigade. But if you look back in history, the first day that we open below the 50, we often have a massive sell-off, which obviously we did yesterday, opening below the 50. But then we also commonly get some continuation for at least a day or two. So just scanning back here a couple years. Okay, so going back to like 2020, broke the 50, opened below it, right? Had a big push down, took 2 days to recover and get back above the 50. Broke it here. Obviously, that was like COVID. That was a massive sell-off. Okay, you can see broke it here, had a down day, followed by another down day, and it took like 5 days for the market to get back up to the 50. Opened below it here, had kind of like a neutral day. Next day was a major down day. Took like 5 days to get back up to the 50. Here, opened below it, massive down day. Took 4 days to get back to the 50. So you can just see there is a pattern to, if it opens below that 50, it often takes a while to get back to it. So when yesterday instantly broke below it, had a massive sell-off, and then pulled right back up to it, that was quite unusual to see compared to, the last few years. So at the end of the day yesterday, I saw that as bullish as long as we could stay above that 50. But the fact that we are back below it now is a little bit bearish to see. Okay, so far finding support around the base of that spike. Can it continue to hold? As I mentioned earlier, if it can, the next stop is getting above the getting above yesterday's high, coming back down and finding support. I would be looking to buy there if we did. If we get resistance here and start to trade lower, the target becomes 46.2950. Good morning, Cyrus. Good to see you. Nor Auto Trader with us. Ronald, good morning. Scooball, good to see you. Arthur is here. Steven, good morning. David Glass, good to see you. Nicholas, good morning to you. Philip Amir, Overlord 3000, welcome to all of you. Oh, we got 2 Amirs now? Oh, boy. Well, welcome to both the Amirs. John, good morning to you. Diego, good to see you. Shubaho Deep back in the house. Good to see you, brother. Welcome. RK was here. He said something. I don't know what he said. He took it back. He took it all back. But good to have you. All right, so the base of that spike is starting to break. I'd like to really see the ticks successfully break the 0 line before I get bearish. But the target is now 46.2950 to the downside. Design Knob says, Pappy getting visitors. I assume that means you're expecting a bit of a sell-off here today. Big Ray, good morning to you. Scooball, NQ look below and fail at the daily. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Look below and fail at the daily. No, so the NQ is just trading inside yesterday's range. Hasn't looked above or below anything. It looks like it's also still inside the M period spike as well, which is a little more bullish than the is. Chris Tank, where's that 50 SMA at? It's a good question. Where is that bad boy today? It is at 67, 46.67. Okay, so I'm putting up the bearish banner here. Not, overly freak outishly bearish, but I do think we need to repair at least the first of these weak references below. And then I'll wait to see what the market does when it gets there. It's something Jim Dalton calls monitoring for continuation lower. So you think the first of the weak references needs to be repaired. You go ahead and get short up in here. And then when the market gets down there and repairs the first of them, you either only take partial profits and hold a runner for continuation, or you wait to see, you stay in your position and you wait to see, do you get down to the next? And then again, you either take partial profits at the next one, or you wait and see. Can you get down to the next? Take partial profits at that one, or you wait and see. And so ideally in a perfect world, you can get short in here, stay in it, stay in it, stay in it, until you get all the way down to try to repair the poor low we left behind yesterday. Right? So shorting from here to here, that's a very tough short unless you're just going step by step. Oh, I'm only shorting to here, and then we'll see if they find support. If not, I stay with it to here. If not, I stay with it to here, and so on and so forth. Monitoring the trade for continuation. Okay, NQ testing the 20 moving average on the 15-minute candles. Some potential support right there. Breaking through it would be a continuation of the bearishness. TV, good morning to you. Bow, bow. Already clicked the like button. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate all 24 of you that, without being asked this morning, smash that thumbs up. You 24 are definitely my favorites, but it's not too late for the rest of you. You could still smash that thumbs up and join the party. Be a member of the liked and liker community. Anama Trader, good morning to you. Welcome. Scooball, oh, you're talking about the look below and fail in the NQ of the larger balancing area. Or I suppose it would be a look into it and fail. Yeah, one could look at it like that. I'm not as good at drawing balancing areas on the queue because I don't watch it every day. But you could see it as that was the attempt to get back into balance that failed. So now we're looking for continuation lower. Oh, also at 10 o'clock, Papa Powell's supposed to speak. So we could keep an eye out for that. Yeah, they're talking hawkish, but nothing too exciting. Okay, so those of you who are regulars here at the channel, you know what you're looking at here. Market traded its way all the way down to a weak reference, but it found support exactly to a tick at that weak reference, right? What does that tell us? That this is a poor low. And just like yesterday, it was weak hands buyers buying at this level. It's the same weak hands trying again today. So I do think that that needs to be repaired still. Lamus, thank you for the euro, brother. Appreciate you. Cotton Dog, how many closed 30-minute period below spike base to say spike has been rejected? I don't really think about it like a 30-minute candle close. I would say this spike has been rejected. It pretty much should have found support pretty quick if it was going to find support around the base of the spike. Like points-wise. Like it should have only kind of... Sometimes it trades a little bit through it, but it should have found support pretty quick there and then started to move higher. So the fact that it didn't is a sign that it's already rejected. Okay, so both indices testing their 20 moving average on the 15-minute candles here. NQ held as support on its first test. Can it hold on the second? Can the ES hold on its first? John Q, the trade isn't over until you say it's over. Well, that's true. But hopefully you're being smart about it when you're saying it's over. Lame is turning around and donating another €5. Thank you, brother. Do explain. What did I do to earn this? Appreciate it. David V, good morning to you. Harry P, how do you look for potential area of support on the ES? Well, we have, when we look at the market profile, these things we call market profile references. So weak references is an example of that. So those are the types of things that I generally look at are market profile references. I know that doesn't help you when you're first learning market profile. But then essentially the next most important thing to look for is nodes of volume. So you can see it intraday. you can see where there are large nodes of volume. So you'd expect some support in here, and in here, because we had those large nodes of volume in there, right? Also, we'd expect some support in here, which is where we're currently getting it. And then you can also use the cumulative volume, which is just combining the last month's worth of volume together. And you can use that as potential support and resistance as well. All right. Well, they seem to have reversed the bearish momentum we started the morning with, but I still don't trust it. It was weak hands. It was the bots at the 20 moving average on both indices that are holding it up right now. So I will remain bearish unless we get above 46.53, that little node right there, in which case I will go neutral until we get above yesterday's high, which, as I mentioned earlier, is what it would take to get me long in this market. Cyrus, is the Discord for Brigade only? If not link, yes, it is for the Brigade only. It's $10, bro. Join the party. You can pay. Also, you can pay the $10 one time, then cancel your membership, and you get in the Discord for life. So just throwing that out there. So Lamus's comment here. Something from above tells me that today I could earn from the long side. I do think it's way too early to make that prediction. As I said earlier, I think if we don't get above yesterday's high, and you could almost just call it the 50 daily since they're so close to each other. If we can't get above there, come back down and find support, I would not be long this market. There is still a trend down in value, and there's a lot of weakness below that needs repair. 3-week references and a poor low left behind yesterday. And that poor low was literally right on top of an old gap. So, shit's weak. Okay, so there's a repair of the first week reference. And now we are monitoring for continuation lower. So does the support start to step in here? Do the ticks get back above the zero line right here? If not, likely they need to head down and repair the next week reference, which is at 46.23. And then the same thing on down. Each week reference that's repaired, does it bring in buyers? If not, assume the next week reference is the target. Cotton Dog. What was the week reference? I don't see it. The one that we just repaired. Expand the profile. That was the M period. So you can see yesterday the M period low was weak because it was one tick from the I period high. So that was the first week reference to get repaired. Okay. The buyers are stepping in there. So if they can get us back above the spike, the base of the spike, 46, 46, 46, I'll go back to neutral. Otherwise, the buyers are just the bought. See, this is the tricky thing about this 20 moving average. For those of you that are newer to the channel, this 20 moving average right here. So what it is a simple 20 moving average on 15-minute candles, but you can only include regular trading hours. That's why I use the SPX and the NDX. You can't include the overnight. It messes it up. But if it's just the regular trading hours, this 20 moving average is very commonly support resistance for the market. And what it is there's just obviously an algorithm that buys. So when it pushes down into the 20, it buys. When it pushes up into it, it sells. It's a very short-term type of move. Sometimes it'll tap it and tap it over and over again, and it'll just keep working and working because it's clearly just a bot that buys there. So it can act as support for continuation the rest of the day, and it does do that sometimes. But I always remind myself that it's a bot that's buying, right? It's not an actual human that thinks this is a good price to buy the market. It's a computer that's buying it purely because it's programmed to buy every time it gets there. So to me, that's just a little bit weak because it wasn't that market participants chose to find support there. It's just it happened to randomly be the spot where this bot steps in. So yeah, just something to think about. It can be the low though. It can provide enough support for continuation. But I just always think about it as a little bit weaker. But right now it's holding up. Q's looking strong here. I'd look for support in this node right around halfback. So if they can find support at like 15,530, that would be bullish. If not, continuation lower. All right. Well, if they can get back above the base of that spike, I'll go back to neutral. We do have good taper on the low. We repaired the first week reference, and that brought in buyers. So if they can get us back above 46 from here, I'll be back to neutral. Lema says, sorry for the €1. Not at all, bro. Thank you. I'll take it. Every little bit counts. Scooball, do you count bots as weak hands buyers? Oh, I was in the flow of the chat with that one. I already answered that question. TV, is the overnight low from 1.9 significant today? Not at all. I mean, that area is interesting because it's where all the volume traded, right? We can see it's where all the volume traded yesterday. And cumulative, it's where there's been a lot of volume, but it's not because it was that overnight low that it's interesting. It's because of the amount of business we've done there in the past. It's Papa P speaking. So if anybody wants to watch it, you can go to YouTube and find it on the Washington Post's page. Desert Turtle, is there something special about the 15-minute candles plus the SMA? Is that standard chart for futures? So the 15-minute candles, that's just a random thing that I personally like to look at 15-minute candles. I find 5 minutes change too quickly. They send too many mixed signals. And 30 minutes are just too slow. It takes too long to get a signal. So for me, that sweet spot is the 15-minute candles. But this moving average, which is the 20 SMA on the 15-minute candles, that specifically has to only be the regular trading hours, that is a thing. And like I said, I think it's just there's a bot that's programmed to buy there. And I learned that from Peter Resnicek. All right, I'm back to neutral. It seems we have some buyers. So now I'd like to see this node that was acting as resistance a few minutes ago at 46.41. I'd like to see that become support. NQ is looking bullish. All right. Well, if the NQ can break, my things are messed up here. But if the NQ can break pretty much where it is now, like 645, there's not a lot of resistance left until we get up to like 15,770-ish. So we could get a bit of a pump there in the Q. Lamus, for a month I tried to pay for Brigade and my payment methods are inconvenient. Well, just email me, ahoy@piratetraders.io. Just shoot me an email, Lamus. I'll get you hooked up. TV, I also have a hard time seeing weak M low yesterday. Could you point it out? I absolutely can. Right here. M period low, 1 tick from the I period high. Two Maniths, good morning to you. Welcome. TV is saying it came within 2 ticks. It looked like it was 1 tick on my chart, so it might be a data thing. Screwball, now that we went a little lower, can it be stronger hands? Yeah, it could. That's the thing. We know that it would have been stronger hands waiting, being disciplined, not FOMOing in earlier on in the morning. So it could be. Step 1, repair the first week reference. Step 2, find support. They've done both those things. Now they need to do step 3, which is begin to trend higher. And like I said, I won't trust that until they get above yesterday's high. Ronald, low of day in shorts get killed. I hope you don't mean you're in a short from the low of the day. If I was in a short right now, I'd put my stop 2 ticks above the B period high. Because if we push back up through here, we could get some continuation. So I wouldn't want to be short if we get back up through that level. Say 53. Two Manifs is saying if he gets renominated, he's going to get a pump. Well, he is getting renominated. He already got voted on. It's just the ceremony today. Trading Donkey. Looking forward to it. I'll open that one later with candles and a bottle of wine. Jay Trader, thank you for smashing that like button. Appreciate you. Black Cat, a high is weak because it's at the settle of yesterday. Yeah, I'll give that to you. We'll call that weak. It's also the POC from the overnight, so yeah, I'll buy that. Bao Bao saying he would be long above yesterday's close. I would too. Particularly if we push above and come back down and find some of that sweet, sweet support, which we are currently finding as we work our way through this resistance. So, Ronald, I think it's a great trade. I don't hate on the trade at all. The only one thing I would point out, the moment I read your thing and it said 44 is break even, um, is that the halfback is right at like 44.50. So it wouldn't be unreasonable to break through this resistance if the market needed one more little dip to find the support to break through. So it wouldn't hurt to give it just a few more ticks of risk. But other than that, it's a good trade. For me, I won't be convinced that we're going to 80 until we get above yesterday's high and then find support. It's something I mention every day, and a lot of people don't really pick up on it, that just getting above a certain price doesn't mean anything. You need to get above it and come back down, and then you can't get any lower. The buyers just continue to step in. That's when you know you should be long. Trading donkey. Yeah, bro, you're not getting the alerts? Oh, sorry, man. Uh, David V. Charles, could you say something about stop width? Is it ever a good idea to have ample breathing room, or is that a sign that the trade is wrong? 100% not. Okay. Giving a stop ample breathing room is a requirement to take a trade. The idea is, how much breathing room do you feel like you have to give it? So for example, let's say you saw right now the market is breaking through the resistance that's been holding us back here in the B period. And so you say to yourself, all right, I'm bullish. I want to go long the market right now. Where am I going to put my stop, right? Like, where am I going to say, if I'm wrong, I want to get out of this trade? Well, man, the market's moving quick. So let's say you entered right there and you thought to yourself, I'm going to put my stop just under half back. That's a good location. The way you would decide, the next decision you need to make is how big of a position size to take. So if I'm going to have to risk, almost 10 points, Jesus. I'm in 2-tick increments. That's why. If I'm going to have to risk 10 points on this trade, how big of a position size can I take? Can I only get in with one contract? Do I have to trade with MES instead of ES? What is the amount? So like, let's say 10 points, on the MES, that's like $150, right? So it's like, if your account only has a couple grand in it, you can't risk $150 on a trade. So you just couldn't get into it. But if your account has 20 grand in it, you could easily jump into an MES trade right there with a stop right there, right? So where you place the stop, that is based on support and resistance and where your trade idea is most likely to be wrong. And then you choose your position size based on the risk that entering at that place with that stop, based on how much risk that is to your overall portfolio size. Another goal, one that I picked up from TD that's worth mentioning, is that, like, if, let's say we were up here earlier and you were thinking about going long and you were saying to yourself, I'm going to put my stop just below half back. Another way to think about entering trades is to say, okay, I'm going to try to wait for a pullback and get in as close to my stop as possible, right? Instead of getting in up here with smaller size, I just wait for the market to pull back closer to my stop, and then I can get in with a better entry and a little more size. But then you might miss the trade, right? If it had just kept going, you would have missed the trade. So one more thing to think about. Cotton Dog, anyone have any idea why the volatility at 10:30? Yeah, I don't know. I just realized that it is 10:30 though. I gotta go, guys. I'm so sorry. Today went quick. All right, so I appreciate everyone stopping by today. Thank you for those 57 likes, and we will see you all here tomorrow morning. If you're not a member of the Brigade, it only costs $10. It's very, very cheap. It's like 2 cups of coffee at Starbucks. It's less than a single tick on the ES. So I encourage you to join the Brigade and hang out with the cool kids. Otherwise, we'll see you here tomorrow morning. Thank you very much and have a great rest of your day. Bye. Chris, can we get today's predictions? Yeah, I mean, my predictions haven't changed from this morning. You could literally just scroll back to the first 5 minutes and you can see I described it there. So if we can get above yesterday's high, market trades up, finds support there, I would look for continuation higher. Okay? Anything other than that is bearish to me. We may just go sideways today. That is possible. But with this much weakness below us, with, 2 more weak references that still need repair, a poor low, and a gap that we stopped. You have to remember, this was really weird. It's really weird that the market traded its way all the way down to literally 1 tick above where a gap started and then turned around from there. There is definitely liquidity waiting to do business down here. There are buyers that would buy this. So to me, if we can't get above yesterday's high, eventually we're heading down here to try to test this. So it is possible we have a sideways day that goes nowhere, but in my mind, if we don't get above yesterday's high, we'll be visiting yesterday's low. All right. Best of luck. See you later.